In today's video, we are going to create an amazing poster design for NESCAFÉ. Grab your mouse as we dive in. First things first, we are going to create a new document. Choose a solid color. Then we are going to create another solid color. With the layer selected, we are going to set the blend mode to multiply and reduce the opacity. We are going to create a new layer. Grab a soft brush. Foreground is set to white. Opacity is set to 100. Hardness is set to 0. We increase the brush size by the right bracket key. And we are going to click once. So we are going to set the blend mode to overlay. Now let's grab our asset for this tutorial. We are going to grab this texture first. Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl V to paste. Ctrl T, we are going to transform this. Once that is in place, we are going to set the blend mode to soft light and reduce the opacity. Now we are going to grab NESCAFÉ. Grab the text. Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl V to paste, undo. So we are just going to position the text right here. Now let's grab this shape and position it right at the NESCAFÉ. Now we are going to hold down Shift and select all these three items and copy them together. So Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl V to paste. We are just going to position them. We have this here. Now let's grab the rock. We are going to copy the cafe bin, position it right here. With the layer selected, Ctrl J to make a copy. Then we are just going to position it right here, Ctrl T, we right click and we are going to flip that horizontally. With this layer selected, with the mask selected, we grab a soft brush. We are going to reduce the opacity. Foreground is set to black, that's okay. Then we hit OK. We are going to reduce the brush size by the left bracket key, right click and we are changing the roundness. So let's head over to brush settings and we are going to reduce the roundness. So we are just going to make some few clicks to erase this portion to create some light casting effect. So we set foreground to black to erase white and we are going to paint it back. So with this layer selected, we are going to create a new layer. Grab the pen tool. So we zoom in and we are going to create a selection. I'm actually creating a shape. You can easily change the path to shape and you can create a shape, but I always prefer to use this. So once we have a selection, then we are going to fill that. So we are going to copy this hex code, grab the marquee tool, right click, and we are going to fill that with a color. So we are going to paste this hex code right here. Then we hit OK. Once that is in place, we press Ctrl D to deselect. Now that we have this in place, we are going to select this layer, hold Ctrl and select the layer thumbnail to create a selection. Then we are going to select the layer above, create a mask. So we are actually deleting that. With this layer selected, we are going to create a curves adjustment layer clipped onto the layer so the effect applies only to the layer. We are going to reduce the opacity. With the layer selected, we are going to create an exposure adjustment layer already clipped onto the layer. With the mask selected, Ctrl I to invert. With a soft tone brush, we are going to be painting some shadows. So we right click and set roundness back to normal. With foreground color set to white, we are just going to take care of the opacity and we are going to be painting some shadows. So we are going to create another exposure adjustment layer already clipped onto the layer. With the mask selected, Ctrl I to invert. Then we are going to be painting some shadows. So I'm going to be speeding this a bit because it's actually the same process. You create an exposure adjustment layer, you invert the mask, and you're just going to paint shadows or highlight. It's actually very easy once you keep practicing that. I actually don't enjoy speeding all this process, but we need to save some time. So we're going to create some contour shadows for the rocks. You create a new layer just beneath it. You set your hardness, you're going to set the roundness, and you're just going to make some few clicks. You are going to create a new layer. So we are going to set roundness and we are just going to make some few clicks, just this way. Hardness is set to 0. Hardness is set to 100. So we are going to copy this fog or smoke. Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl V to paste. Right click and convert that to a smart object, Ctrl T, and we are just going to transform this. So we are going to drop the layer. We have it right here. So we leave it here. With the layer selected, we are going to create a mask. With the mask selected, Ctrl I to invert with a soft tone brush. Right click and set roundness back to normal. Hardness is set to 0. We are going to increase the size. We are going to reduce the opacity. Our foreground is set to white and we are going to paint some back. So we are going to grab the smoke, Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl V to paste. Right click and convert that to a smart object. Ctrl T, we are going to transform and position it right here. So with this layer selected, we are going to hold Ctrl and click in the thumbnail. With the smoke layer selected, we are going to create a mask. Then we have it this way. With the mask selected, we are going to grab a soft tone brush. Opacity is set to 100. Foreground is set to white. We are going to right click and set hardness to 100. So we are just going to paint right here to actually bring it back, but don't go below the peak. Now that we have this, we are going to right click and convert that to a smart object. With the layer selected, we create another mask. With the mask selected, Ctrl I to invert. Hardness is set back to 0. We are going to reduce the opacity. Foreground is set to white. Then we are just going to paint some back. Now we are getting somewhere. All we need to do is we are going to paint more shadows. So we are going to create an exposure adjustment layer clipped onto this layer. With the mask selected, Ctrl I to invert. With a soft tone brush, foreground is set to white. We are going to paint some shadows. Once the composition was done, I later added some particles and changed the direction of the smoke and applied camera raw. Once we have everything in place, we are going to press Ctrl Alt Shift E to merge all layers. Right click and convert to a smart object. Then we are going to apply camera raw. So filter, camera raw, filter. We are just going to play with all the settings until we like the outcome, then we hit OK. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope to see you in the next one. Till next time, stay creative.